Welcome to beginner lower extremity workout. I would recommend having an exercise mat, a pillow, and then either a chair or a ball, although those are optional. Okay, we're gonna start in standing and just kind of get warmed up by working through our ankles. So up doing calf raises, but also lifting up our toes the opposite direction. So rocking back and forth. If you want to get your arms into it a little bit, you can. Whatever feels good. We're kind of just getting things moving. You can check in with your posture. Do a gentle belly button to spine if you feel comfortable with that. Roll your shoulders if you want. Okay, and then our last few, let's be a little bit more still up top and focus on really good pressure going kind of through our big toes as we go up, 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 and down. It's kind of hard to slow down once you do it quickly. But just focus now on feeling your ankles and your calves, the front of your shins here on the toes up. And if you feel like you're not getting enough range with that and you want to work a little bit more, you can always do it with one leg. But hopefully you feel those muscles working. Okay, now we're gonna do squats. I recommend for beginners to do like a wall slide squat. So you can use a door, or refrigerators, anything that helps you slide. My wall's not gonna let me slide the best, but it works, especially if you're only gonna start out doing little bits. So if you feel like you want more, you can just scoot your feet out and go down lower. Ideally, we don't really usually want knees over the toes unless there's a particular reason why you need to work on that. And also try not to let your knees knock in. Let's keep them nice and wide, but they don't have to be like crazy wide. They can be pretty much shoulder width, okay? And we'll start with about 10. So I did a few there, and now I'm gonna just do some regular squats. So you do whatever you feel like you're ready for. Not too fast. So let's do 5 more. 1. Make sure your bottom is getting back if you're not sliding against the wall. So if you have the wall, that's gonna just kind of keep your back in alignment. If you're not using the wall, you wanna act like you're about to sit down. Okay, how did I can't even count to 5. Okay, what do you think? 2 more. 1 and 2. Okay. Let's go ahead now and do a calf stretch. So you can have a hand on the wall, 2 hands on the wall if you want, 1 foot back, 1 foot forward, and getting a good stretch, trying to keep your feet straight. Don't let them toe out unless you need to, but that's a compensation. So try not to. Just, you don't have to go so far if it feels like too much. Stretch, and we'll just take a nice breath. Thank you, Jesus, for our muscles and our feet and our ankles. They're so important for our balance and our walking and mobility. Let's switch feet. It is easy to take our feet for granted, but there's so many muscles, and it's amazing how well they move most of the time if we take care of them. Okay, good stretch there. Let's move into working our hips. So standing nice and straight, using good posture. Let's start, you can either try to balance, or if you need to have your hand on a chair or on the wall, you can do that as well. And we're gonna start with flexion, working the front of our hip. And we're also really working the standing hip. Okay, I'm gonna count, that's 3. We're just gonna do 10. 4, 5, and how high you go up and you don't have to go up that high. 6, 7, 8, whatever you're comfortable with. 9, 10. Good. Let's switch legs. And again, feel free to hold on to something if you need to, and you might not be even side to side, so that's okay. 1, 2, and if you feel like things are kind of dropping, then maybe don't do so much motion and just try to work on keeping your hips as even as possible. What is that? 3, I'm the worst counter. 4, we all have our gifts. Counting's not mine. 5 or 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish. Okay. Next, we're gonna go out to the side. But when you go out to the side, try to make sure that your leg is not coming forward. And in fact, I wouldn't even go straight to the side. I'd go back just slightly and out to the side. And you should really feel the side of your bottom working. We're on like 3 or something. 4. Keep good posture. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9 and 10. And I would really not go faster than that because you're really working that stance leg. Okay, let's go ahead and switch legs. So same thing, make sure you're paying attention to where that your leg is not coming forward. We're keeping it out to the side. We're like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Notice I like to kind of switch where my hands are sometimes. 8, 9, 10, just to kind of check in with what your different muscles are doing. Okay, and you could even, sometimes it helps to do that in front of a mirror as well, so you can really make sure that you're not doing any like crazy stance, you know, that you can see, okay, like that must be too hard for me, I better hold on to something, you know, just again, another way to give yourself some feedback. Okay, we're gonna do one more in standing, and that is gonna be extension, so backwards. Now, if you're gonna go too high, you're gonna get a lot of bend in your back, you're gonna end up leaning forward. So again, it doesn't need to be super far back. In fact, if you have low back problems of anything, just be careful. Always consult with your physician before doing any of these exercises. I'm gonna go ahead and gently bring my belly button toward my spine, and then just go back gently, kind of just almost like I'm just doing a glute set with my bottom muscles. But I'm gonna get a little bit of extension. We're probably about halfway. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, and then I'm gonna switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. See, my stance leg's getting a little tired there. Shake it out if you need to. Okay, and while we're standing, let's also go ahead and do a quad stretch. So if you can reach your foot, great. If you need to get like a belt or something, like a tie around your robe, anything that kind of ties around your leg, and you could pull up for that, you can do that. Just don't let your hip come forward because we want to get a stretch through the whole quad muscle there. The other thing you could do is put your foot like on something to go partway like that, and then you could even like bend into it to find like where's a good stretch, but that's obviously going to be a lot more on the other leg. So just do what you need to do to find a good stretch. It shouldn't be painful. You should just be feeling the muscles stretch. And I'm kind of even pulling through my toes to get a stretch on the top of my foot because it feels good to me. So another thing you could try. Okay, 30 seconds is always a good hold. We're just gonna kind of estimate. And let's go ahead and switch sides. Oh, good time to say a prayer again. Lord, help me to stay as flexible as possible so that I can keep moving and do your will. Amen. Oh, that feels like a good stretch. I hope it does for you. Because now we're gonna work our way down to the mat, And let's take our pillow, or if you have a small ball, that works too, and put it between your knees. You're gonna keep your knees bent, feet flat on the floor. And you can either be like in this position on your elbows, or if you feel comfortable, you can lay all the way down. So whichever you want to do today. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, we're gonna squeeze the pillow and feel our inner thighs working. If you also feel comfortable to do like a belly button to spine or a Kegel, you can add that in. I'm not gonna talk through that today, so just if that doesn't make sense to you, then don't worry about it. Okay, we're just gonna hold like a few seconds for each one. So I'm doing number 2 now. And relax. And let's go with 3. And relax. 4. And relax. Make sure you're breathing. 5. And relax. 6. And relax. 7. And relax. 8. And relax. 9. And relax. 10. Good job. Done. Okay, the next one, which is going to be our last strengthening one, and then we'll just do a couple stretches. You can use a ball, or you can use a chair, and put your feet up there. Or if you don't have a ball or a chair, you can also, what we're gonna do is bridges. So you could also just keep that same position with your legs, and we're gonna, it does help you feel a little bit more through your hamstrings and the back of your legs if you have them a little bit higher. And since we're focusing more on legs than core today, that I'm gonna add that in. But you just do whatever you feel safe and comfortable with, okay? Okay, so I am gonna gently bring that belly button towards the spine, but you should kind of naturally contract your core. So as long as it's not causing you any trouble, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. Breathe in, and as you breathe out, lift your bottom up toward the ceiling. Now, you don't need a huge lift like that, just a little bit up is fine, or if you want to try to get like even. Now the ball, you're gonna have to definitely balance more, so that's gonna add a little extra plane of motion there, but go ahead and relax and come back down. That's always something you can progress to later. Let's go again. Make sure you're not holding your breath, and check in with your shoulders. Make sure that you're relaxing your neck. And come all the way down. Go again. If you're still going, you're doing awesome. We're almost done. And relax. If you have a ball, it's kind of fun between, and feels good on your low back to just gently kind of rock back and forth. All right, let's go again. And relax. What do you think? Let's do 2 more. Okay, deep breath in. As you breathe out, lift your bum. Alrighty, relax and make this last one the best one yet. Deep breath in, breathe out, lift just a tiny bit higher this time to work a little harder. Keep breathing. You can point your toes, you can flex your toes, play with that a little bit, relax those shoulders, almost done, and relax. Okay, so let's do a hamstring stretch now. So one leg straight, and then the other one you can bend it up, and then you can try to straighten your shin to get a good stretch behind the knee. You might feel a little bit of neural tension there in the back of the leg, so you can kind of pump your ankle or just find the spot that feels like the right spot where you're getting a stretch but you're not hurting or irritating anything. All right, let's switch legs. God, help us to not take for granted all of the muscles that we work every day. Help us to offer up when we have those aches and pains, and unite our suffering with Jesus on the cross. Okay, let's go ahead and take that knee now and pull it across our body. And again, you can play with the angle to find the spot that you really need. Get a good stretch there. If you want, you can reach your arm out a little bit, and you can decide which way it feels good for your neck to turn. All right, let's go ahead and switch legs. I didn't leave myself much room over here, so I'm gonna do like a football post or goal post arm, which also feels really good. See, you can always add in a couple extra stretches, and it's like, yeah, we're working the legs, that we can also, we did, a little bit of core, we did some balance, so it's good to combine a little bit as well. But hopefully you feel that you mostly did legs. All right, hug your knees in. Feel the love of God. And thanks. Thanks for bearing with me. See you next time.